right, so here's 16 lessons that I've learned after personally putting myself out there for 7 years. And after making a couple of millions and working with over 500 plus agents and so forth and so forth, I want to give you guys nothing but amazing lessons that you can learn to when you finally start putting yourself out there in 2025. Here's what you can expect. And I just really want to create this video to help you guys understand that you're not alone. It's totally normal. And all you just need to do is to keep on pushing. So I'm going to go through each of these lessons. Pay very close attention. My advice is to watch this video over and over and over again, especially next year for those who are planning to put themselves out there. It is a very, very interesting journey. Okay, you're going to learn a lot about yourself, but the goal here at the end of the day is just to keep pushing and going through uncomfortable moments so that we can become better people, to improve our character, to improve the better version of ourselves so that we can give that person out to our clients and to everyone else. All right, so what I've done is I've compiled the notes in here so that at least I don't fall off track, and I'm gonna do everything I can to stick to time because I know sometimes I can go on multiple different tangents. So I'm gonna do everything I can to keep it nice, short and sweet and give you guys core lessons as we go along. All right, cool guys. So number one is the feeling of anxiety and being scared is always gonna be there. So many of you guys will notice after doing one video or two videos, let's say you're 10 videos in, you're gonna notice that you always feel scared, you always feel anxious. It's totally normal, it's totally fine. I still get scared, right? I'm scared right now. So the key here at the end of the day, and this is gonna be a repetitive theme that I'm always going to be repeating all the time to you guys, so that you don't always focus on being perfect. I was always someone who would always strive to be perfect. And because I always strive to be perfect, I would get, the best way I can explain it is I'd always get analysis paralysis because I would critique myself a million times that I would not post it, I would not put myself out there because I was striving to become perfect. So the feeling of always being anxious or scared, and because you're anxious or you're scared, you maybe feel like you're mumbling your words or you're not articulating yourself perfectly. It is totally normal. I get those moments all the time, all right? Your best or your favorite content creators also feel scared all the time. In fact, if you look at athletes, if you look at sports stars, celebrities, they all are scared. The only difference between them and you is that they do it anyway. All right, so lesson number two is that you always critique yourself, but don't let that stop you from doing it. Yes, you're always gonna critique yourself. Guys, I've done so many videos and I didn't post them because I was highly overcritical. And I just stopped doing that. Even now, guys, this is part two. I did a video, the same video, which is close to 19 minutes long. And I was like, nah, it's too long. I don't wanna make it too long. I wanna make it short. So can you see how I'm already critiquing myself? But I'm still doing the video again. Why? Because I'm still gonna post this video. Whether I am highly critical of myself, I'm still gonna post it. So the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that you're always going to be overcritical of yourself. It's okay, right? Don't be too hard on yourself and always focus on progressing. That is the goal. The theme here is progress over perfection all the time. Because if you can just focus on just being one step ahead or being 1% better every single time, that is how you're going to grow. And that is how you're going to still put yourself out there without constantly having to delay the process because you want to be perfect. Perfection doesn't exist, guys. But progression is always there if you just put in 1% effort over time. All right, lesson number three, prepare for hate, mean comments, and people judging you. Guys, it's just part of putting yourself out there. Okay, I look at it as if people aren't hating, if people aren't giving you mean comments, if people aren't judging you, then you're just simply not doing enough. You're not putting yourself out there enough. You're not putting out enough content. It's a good sign if you are getting people hating on you or judging you. Okay, I know how it feels. Many of you guys are paralyzed because you don't want to put yourself out there because you're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of being hated on. But I've noticed that for most people who do that, they probably also doing the same. Okay, it's purely a reflection of yourself. I was always afraid of putting myself out there because I would judge people who put themselves out there, right? I would judge them. I wouldn't be the one making the mean comments, but I would judge that person. I'd look at their content like, what the hell is this person saying? This person's speaking nonsense, right? Or I'd share a person's content like, look at this idiot. right? And then now when I'm creating videos, I'm like, oh damn, what if people do the same thing? And I've noticed for most people who do that, that's the reason why you're afraid to put yourself out there. Guys, it is normal. It is totally normal. The focus that you should be looking at here, and again, I'm going to go back to the theme, progress over perfection. Okay, it's totally normal. Just keep on progressing, and you'll notice the more hate, the more comments you get, you become numb to it. In fact, it's normal. And I'm always someone who's very critical, but I just realized that it's okay. That means it's a good thing. So you just want to change the perspective around it. All right, lesson number 4, feeling of whether this is working or if you're wasting your time is normal. Don't stop. Yeah. So many times I would create videos and then I wouldn't get likes, comments, shares. I'd be worried. I'm like, is this worth my time? I'd always be questioning whether if I'm doing the right thing. And yes, you are on the right track. It is okay, guys. It is 100% okay. It is normal if you're creating content and you're posting and you're not getting any traction, you're not getting any likes, you're not getting any shares, you're not getting any comments. It is totally fine. It is normal. It's part of the process. My advice is just to keep on improving all the time, right? Look at your videos. Look at, okay, cool. This video, out of 10 videos, this one video got me 200 views, and then every other video only got 1 view. What is it about this core video that got 200 views that I can replicate again? The market will always give you a sign of what they like, and then all you just need to do is listen to that feedback. So create content, look at the feedback, and reiterate. That is all you just need to do. Don't get discouraged, guys. If you've been doing it for quite some time and you're wondering whether this is working or you're wasting your time, it's totally normal. Lesson number 5, not everyone will understand you. Your content shouldn't be for everyone. Yes, 100%. Guys, not everyone's going to understand you. So what you want to do is you want to create your very own avatar of the people that you want to work with, or the people that you want your message to resonate with. Okay, so for example, let's say you create an avatar called Susie and an avatar called Brian. And Brian and Susie, you literally write down a day in their life. You write down what are their pain points. You write down what content are they searching for. You write down what they're looking for online. And all you just need to do is speak to Susie and Brian. Now, of course, you're not just speaking to those two people, but you're speaking to an overall avatar. Because you know that in your area, there's probably hundreds of Susies and Brians. And everyone else who's not a Susie or Brian, who doesn't match the description of a Susie or Brian, is totally okay. That's why sometimes you get hateful comments from John. But John doesn't match the avatar of Susie or Brian. Hence why if you just speak to Susie and Brian, screw what everyone else thinks. So for example, I trash on people who make cold calls. Why? Because they're not part of my avatar. I'm speaking to the person who agrees with the fact that cold calling is trash and is looking for a better way to get more buyers or sellers, buyers and sellers, okay, by not using portals and by not cold calling. So as a result of that, all the agents who love cold calling, all the agents who love property portals, they're going to hate on my content. Why? Because it goes against what they believe. But I don't get hurt by those comments because they're not part of my avatar. Does that make sense? Your content is not going to be for everyone, so it's totally okay. Just make content for the right people and always ask yourself, what would Susie or Brian want from me? Or how can I help them? All right. Lesson number 6 is don't stop when it gets tough or when you have no clue what to create next. Yeah, don't stop, guys. The biggest issue I see with most agents is that they stop when things get tough or they stop when they don't know what type of content to create. It is totally normal, all right? Just focus on progression. I'm going to keep repeating this all the time. Progress over perfection, progress over perfection, progress over perfection. Don't stop, guys, when it gets tough or when you don't know what to create next. It's just going to move me over onto lesson number 7 when it comes to if you have no clue what type of content to create next. The reason why you don't know what type of content to create next is because you're not improving yourself and you're not learning enough. Guys, it is important that you read books. It's important that you read magazines. It's important that you read blogs. It's important that you go and watch people who are killing it in real estate. You need to watch their content. You need to learn from their perspective. You need to look at their minds. You need to learn from their insights. Many people ask me, Wandile, where do you get all these insights from? Your intellect, how do you know this study? It's because I'm always consuming. I'm always learning. So my focus is to always learn so that not only can I improve, right, for you guys as my clients, but then I can also provide the right insights to help you. And I can also use that as a way to make my content sound fresh and unique. Okay, you can have two agents. One agent that speaks about 3 tips to sell your home as soon as possible, and you can have another agent who does the exact same content piece, but then the other agent is learning from people who are mortgage lenders, is learning from people who are in, let's say, the industry of psychology, all right, or economics, for example, right? Now, that person, because he's got additional insights, he's now going to cross-pollinate all that information and then add more flavor to his content, so that the seller who looks at that piece of content is like, wow, okay, I didn't know that if I do this, or if I do this, or if I say this, that's actually going to help me sell my house a lot quicker and faster. And it's all because that second agent is actually learning from other content creators or learning from other books and grabbing that piece of information and putting that insight into his own content, versus agent number one, who's just using a cookie cutter type of content. You don't want that. If you look at my content, you actually see I don't provide cookie cutter content because I'm consistently learning from other people, and I utilize my interests in a way to bring it to you guys so you can learn different things from me. Okay, lesson number 8, progress over perfection. I don't have to speak too much about that. It's pretty simple. Always focus on progressing, guys. Don't focus on being perfect, because being perfect is always going to cause paralysis. And there's no such thing as perfection. So stop chasing it. Always focus on being 1% better every single day and doing those small daily wins. Guys, if you stutter 100 times after doing a 3-minute video, I want to make sure that with the next 3-minute video, you're only stuttering 99 times. Okay? Up until the point where you don't stutter anymore. Then you can start looking at, okay, cool, how can I be better at communicating? How can I be better at changing my tonality? How can I be better at articulating myself? Those are all the things you can start focusing on and progressing on as time goes by. Do you want to suck now, or do you want to suck a year later? The difference is, if you start a year later, you now have to start from scratch. But if you start now, a year later, you'll be miles ahead. Okay, and that is a key point here. Okay, cool. Lesson number 9, you don't need a fancy website and all other stuff, just good content. Yes, guys, you don't need fancy websites, you don't need any of that, just good content. Guys, I still don't have a website. Can you believe it? Yes, I don't have a website, guys, and I've made millions. Okay, it's because people invested in me. People invested in me because of the message that I had. They invested in me because of the fact that I put myself out there as providing value. Whereas most businesses just focus reliably on a website, as an example. You don't want to do that, guys. Progress over perfection. So don't focus too much on being perfect or having a good website or having flyers or having cards. None of that matters, guys. If you're on social media and you've got a good message, that is all you need. Okay. Lesson number 10, you don't need the best camera, just a good message. Yes, that's another thing. Many of you guys are plagued because you can't create content because, oh, I don't have the best camera. Guys, go down on YouTube. Look at my very first, I'd say 50 videos or 70 videos. I created all those videos with this phone here 4 years ago, guys. This is an iPhone 8. Okay, I didn't have money to get a camera. Okay, I didn't have money to buy a 12,000 rand camera. So what I did, I just bought I just used my phone. Okay, I used my phone in my house. Now look at the progress. Look at that progress, guys, from 4 years ago up until now. Look at the video. Look at my very first video that I shot in my bedroom, and look at the video now. Can you see massive difference? But if I had just focused on being perfect, I wouldn't be here today. So the focus, guys, is progress over perfection. Don't worry too much about the camera. Just shoot the content. All they care about is the message, guys. They don't care about how you look. They don't care about the sound. So long as you're clear enough, that is all that message. That's all that matters, which is especially good with your message. Lesson number 11, 9 times out of 10, you're not putting out enough content. Guys, you're not putting out enough content. You're not. 9 times out of 10, you're not. Many of you guys think that, oh, okay, if 5 posts a week is too much. What? Guys, go look at all the content creators that have over 1 million followers online and just gauge and see how much content they put out. These guys are at least posting 5 to 10 times a day across all platforms. Grant Cardone posts a tweet every 2 minutes. Go look at Grant Cardone's YouTube. The guy's got over 6,000 videos. 6,000 videos, guys. And then you're saying to yourself, oh, five posts a week is too much. So basically, you're telling me 20 posts a month is too much. So that's like what, 200 posts in 10 months? Guys, it's not enough. 9 times out of 10, you're not creating enough content. So here's what you want to do. Your first goal should be creating at least three pieces of content a week. Then bump that up to 6 a week. Then bump that up to 12 a week. Bump it up to a point where you creating so much content, you start to feel uncomfortable. That is the type of content or the amount of volume of content you should be doing. Because once I started hanging around people who were really popular online, they were making so much money, I realized that these guys are posting 5 to 10 times a day. And I'm like, damn, I'm only doing one piece of content a day. And I thought that was too much. So 9 times out of 10, you're not creating enough content. And the focus here is just to create as much as you can so that you can become better. But ultimately, you're also going to learn from those pieces of content. So if it takes you 1 month to do 10 pieces of content versus if you do 10 pieces of content in 1 week, you'll be able to see what you need to improve on in that 1 week versus you having to wait for a full month. So that's why I create as much content as possible, because then I can see what content is actually hitting the market correctly. And then I double down on the content that's working. All right, lesson number 12. People are watching even though they're not saying anything with comments and likes. I get this all the time. People always tell me, Wandile, I'm not getting any likes, comments, and shares. And my question is, why does that even matter? Guys, why does validation matter? Why do you want to feel validated by the likes, comments, and shares? The only thing you should be focusing on is, am I changing Susie or Brian's life? Remember, going back to the avatar, okay? Am I speaking to Susie and Brian, and am I shifting their perspective? Am I changing their life with my content? Guys, all I care about, and it's taken me a long time to get here, because sometimes, don't get me wrong, guys, the only time I'm looking at views, the only time I'm looking at engagement is if I'm trying to see where the content is hitting or not. That's the only time I'm looking at that. But for me personally, all I care about is, I don't care if I got 1,000 views. My focus is, did I change someone's perspective? Did my message hit somebody? Did my message get somebody to get a wake-up call? Did my message change someone's perspective, the way that they think? Did my message change a real estate agent's life? Right? Those are all the things that I care about. Okay? If it at least did that to one agent, that's all I care about. I don't care if I get 1,000 or 1,000,000 views. So long as I can do any of those 5 things I've just mentioned, that's all I care about. And that's all you should care about. Stop focusing so much on your ego and focus more on helping your clients. So let's not be selfish, let's be selfless towards our clients. All right. Lesson number 13, keep learning and improving from looking at other creators to cross-pollinate. Yes, guys, your core focus every single day, I don't care how busy you are, focus on at least putting aside 30 minutes to 1 hour to learning. Whether it's reading books, whether it's watching updates, whether it's looking at blogs, but always keep learning, guys. Keep adding in more insight. Because what's going to happen is that now you're going to become such a well-rounded individual that whenever you're having conversations with sellers, whenever you're creating content, you automatically start pulling out stats, you start pulling out research, you start pulling out studies, you start pulling out different ideas and concepts that you're learning from other creators into your own content, right? With your own flavor, with your own style. And that is what makes you unique. I get many comments from plenty agents always telling me, Wandile, I like your content because you're so different. You speak about mastering the self, you speak about this, you speak about that. And what they don't realize is that because I'm consistently learning, I'm consistently looking at, okay, what can I gather insights from hypnosis that will help you change and become a better person? Because hypnosis ultimately will help you become a better person so that you become more confident. It's going to help you make better calls. It's going to help you close more deals. So can you see how everything is connected and how whatever I am learning out of my own interest is going to help you guys as well? Because I know how to package what I've learned and communicate it effectively and construct it into a strategy that's going to help you guys. But I wouldn't have that knowledge or that know-how if I wasn't learning. So the key focus here is keep learning, guys. All right, lesson number 14, show parts of your personal life. It shows that you're human, and share stories because people relate to stories. That's number 14 and 15. So for the longest time, I just focused on business, because that's what I thought mattered. And then I realized that I was looking at certain people that I knew that only created business content. And I was like, but this person is different, man. Like, this person is acting different, but when they talk to me, when we engage, because obviously know that person and know them from a personal level, they have a completely different personality. and there's so much going on in their life, but they don't want to show it. Guys, share more of your personal life. It helps show that you're human. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can actually see I share my personal life. I share that I wake up at 2:30 every morning. I share that I'm fascinated and I go to the gym. I share insights in terms of what I've been learning. So my stories is a way for you to see a little bit of more behind the scenes of who I am. Okay, and then if you look at my post, that's more business focused. So that's how I've structured my personal to the business side. It just showcases that you're human, guys, and that is what sellers and buyers want, to just make sure that you're human and that they can learn from you and that they can relate to you. So I know many agents who love working out, many agents who love personal development, many agents who love to learn. Okay, they can relate with me purely because, and I need to stress this, purely because we share the same interest, and because of that, that makes me a better candidate to work with them, or for them to work with me, because they can relate to me compared to the other company that just posts business content all the time. And then the story part, stories, guys, again, people relate to stories. So I always do the best that I can to share stories that people can relate with. Now, for the longest time, I've learned so much in terms of my mistakes in the journey of entrepreneurship, as well as my mistakes in the journey of, being the person that I am. So when you can combine the two, trust me when I say that it really helps you reach the next level, because many people can relate to that. People can relate to heartbreak. People can relate to investing in something and you got scammed. People can relate to feeling demotivated. People can relate to self-sabotaging yourself. All those things are normal, guys. Just create more content and be relatable. That is the whole focus here. And then lastly, lesson number 16 is focus on explaining concepts in simple English. This is a skill many people overlook. Oh, this is a big one. And I'll tell you why. Guys, if you had to go to a mechanic, let's say there's something wrong with your car, and you ask the mechanic, what's wrong with my car? What's the mechanic going to tell you? Oh, the fan belt is broken, so we need to go and fix the engine alternator because it's going to affect the battery, which is going to mess up the compression flow of the system. And if I come to you afterwards, I'm like, what's wrong with your car? You're like, I don't know. Right? Why don't you know? Because the mechanic has just told you all this technical jargon, right? Russell Brunson calls it technobabble, okay? Guys, here's the thing. Many professionals don't understand this. And if you guys can get this, you're really going to be so successful, because many people don't understand, especially professionals, that the average Joe doesn't know shit about the market or real estate terms. They don't know anything about that. But you as agents speak to us as if we're another agent, and you assume that we know what a CMA report is. Guys, I only know what a CMA report is because I work with you guys, but the average Joe doesn't. So stop assuming that you know, or stop assuming that the market knows what a CMA report is. I understand, because many of you guys have that knowledge and you engage with other agents, so you automatically assume that everyone knows. No, nobody knows, guys. So what I'm trying to say here as the last lesson, which is a very important one, is focus on understanding that nobody knows anything, and don't assume that they know everything, even if it's the most simplest real estate concept or term. Always explain it and break it down. Go look at all my YouTube videos. Go watch all my Instagram videos. You'll see I explain very intrinsic concepts down to the T. I want to make sure that you can understand it. And how do I do it? I make use of analogies. I make use of stories so that you can understand exactly how things work. Because if I don't do that, then you're confused. And here's the thing, guys, a confused buyer doesn't buy. Okay? A confused seller is not going to give you the mandate. So stop complicating things, guys. Make it in simple English. If your 5-year-old niece or son or daughter, if your 10-year-old niece or daughter if you can't explain it to them for them to fully understand, then you need a lot of work to do. You need to have a lot of work in terms of working on your communication skills. But trust me when I say that it gets better over time. All you just need to do is be cognizant that, before I start to speak about CMA report, let me explain what CMA stands for, and let me explain the purpose of a CMA report. Okay, that is how I would go about when I'm educating and I'm creating video content, putting myself out there. Don't speak techno babbles, guys. Don't go too deep into the technicalities. You can say, for example, the technical side, but then explain it afterwards so that it provides better context for your leads. And that is what I would say is one of the best ways for you to communicate effectively. Anyways, guys, if you got a lot of value in this, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Please put down what is one of the biggest takeaway lessons that you got from this video in the comments. I'd love to see what you guys think, and I just wanted to give you guys as much value as possible, especially for those who want to put themselves out there. It is not easy, but the goal here, guys, is we don't want it to be easy. Okay, it needs to be hard. All right, because pleasure comes from sacrifice. Yes, it does come from sacrifice. And for me, I want you guys to put yourselves in uncomfortable positions in 2025 so that you can grow. I want you to outgrow yourself, because the only way you're going to reach your goal, guys, is by outgrowing who you are right now. And how the only way you can outgrow who you are right now is putting yourself in uncomfortable positions and putting yourself out there. And trust me when I say that you are stronger than you think. Anyways, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Watch out for part 2, which is lessons that I've learned from spending over $500,000 on advertising, and what you guys can learn from that, especially if you plan to run ads. I'll see you guys on the next one.